I'd like to talk today with you all about mobile apps. These allow people to instantaneously transfer money to friends or family or merchants with just a few taps on their phone. They've proved to be a valuable resource in our socially distanced pandemic economy. But along with the benefits of instant and contactless payments, these apps have made it easier for scammers and fraudsters to reach more people faster. A recent report using data from the CFPB shows that consumer complaints about digital payment apps steadily increased over the last few years before skyrocketing during the pandemic. The number of consumer complaints about these apps increased more than 300% in just the first 4 months of the pandemic, reached a peak in April of this year at nearly double the previous high back in 2020. So, Mr. Braille, I see you nodding as we go through this. Your organization has done a lot of good work to protect consumers from scams and fraud and abuse, including the scams that they face on mobile apps. So I just want to ask you, when a consumer wants to use their Venmo or Cash App account to pay a friend for lunch, but they make a mistake, say by sending the money to another person who happens to have the same name as their friend, are they usually able to get the money back?
No, Senator.
Yeah. In fact, I understand that if you go to Venmo's help center to figure out what to do when you've been paying the wrong person, the first thing it tells you is ask the person you accidentally paid to send the money back. And if that person is not very nice, I take it you're just kind of out of luck.
Yes, that's correct, Senator.
All right, so let's just push this a little further, Mr. Brea. Let's say a consumer is tricked into sending money to someone who pretends to be a coworker, collecting money for a gift, or to a scammer who promises to flip that money into a bigger payday, but never makes good on the deal. In your experience, are consumers likely to get their money back then?
No, Senator, they're not.
So, money in these accounts are more like cash in your wallet than like money in a bank account. Once it's gone, I take it it's probably gone for good. Not only does that leave consumers extremely vulnerable to scam artists and to fraudsters, it also leaves them vulnerable to being hounded by the apps themselves. Venmo has deployed predatory debt collection tactics against consumers whose accounts have been drained into the red by scammers, and it hasn't let up during the pandemic. So, Mr. Braille, do you believe that mobile peer-to-peer payment apps should face greater scrutiny from regulators to ensure that they provide consumers with stronger protections against scam and fraud and frankly, even simple mistakes?
Yes, Senator, I do, and I've detailed a number of the steps that this committee can take to better protect those consumers in my written testimony.
Yes, and thank you for that testimony and for the suggestions. I agree with you on this, and that's why I'm very glad to see that the CFPB has begun taking steps to strengthen and to clarify consumer protection rules for payment apps. These apps are helping to fill gaps in a payment system that is too slow, it's too expensive, and it's too inconvenient. And there is no doubt that these apps have played an important role in our pandemic economy. But we can't leave consumers to fend for themselves on a level playing field that's making it even easier for scammers and fraudsters to use these apps to do harm. That means that if we really do want to level the playing field, we've got to make the rules stronger and we've got to make sure there's adequate enforcement to ensure that mobile payment apps take responsibility for protecting their customers. I want to say thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing, giving us a chance to look at this and so many other aspects of where fraudsters have figured out pandemic is a good time for them to make money and to step up their efforts to cheat everyone else. I look forward to our continuing to work on this, and I look forward to your next hearing.
Thank you so much, Senator Warren, and your work in this area for such a long time.